Good morning. My name is Kazi of the Rouf. I am from Leadership Higher and Adult Education, University of Toronto, visiting scholar, and Assistant Professor, Nobel International University, USA. Today I am going to present my paper, Ecological Economics to Protect the Planet from Ecocide and Free People from Iron-Cage Consumerism. I am presenting this paper, Nobel Comparative International and Development Education Center, SIDAC, on March 6, 2013. So, this presentation usually I take a lot of statistics from Tim Jackson, who writes a book. From there I take a lot of information, and he's a UK professor, and I'm using some of his concepts like social logic, Cinderella economy, iron-cage consumerism. So this paper mainly my personal experience, my environmental studies academia, as well as ecological economics. So my paper contains five parts. The first part, just introduction and the research question and logic of this ecological economics, and provide some statistics what capitalism is doing and its effects to the society, to the community people, and also to ecology and destructions in ecology and ecocide. And then I'm talking a little bit growth and versus prosperity, green stimulus program, and lastly give some ecological economic recommendation. So my research question is, very soon 9 billion people would be within decades. Do we have a decent vision of green prosperity for such a world? So the logic, what's the logic? The debt-driven materialistic consumption economy is unsustainable ecologically, problematic socially, and unstable economically. Between 1939 and 1944, US military spending rose from 2% of national income to 54% of national income. Germany's military spending this 60% of national income at its peak period in 1944, World War II. Military budgets trillions of dollars all over the world now. No model for common macroeconomic aggregates, meaning production, consumption, investment, trade, capital stock market, and public spending, labor, money, supply, and so on. And no accounts systematically for ecological destruction to the corporates. So now, why green economy is needed? Capitalism has fundamentally broken. Capitalism has negative effects on human lives, other living species, threat to planet, ecology. Global economy has grown more than 5 times than it was in 1916. If it continues to grow at the same rate, it will be 80 times bigger in 2050 than it was in 1950. OECD estimates for 9 billion population, an economy needed 15 times bigger than today's economy. 50 times, 75 times bigger than in 1950s. By 2050, future projection, 40 times bigger than today's economy. See, the horizontal level of development, economic growth is needed. But is it failed? Is economic growth failed to provide economic stability and secure people's livelihood, public well-being? Banking crisis in 2008 led the world to the brink of financial disaster. The capitalist economy runs on debt. Shopping generation hooked on a brand. So, not only to that, this economic growth destroys all of this. How? Carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel have increased by 80% since 1970. Emissions today are almost 40% higher than they were in 1990. Extractions of iron ore, bauxite, copper, and nickel is now rising faster than world GDP. Climate change and peak weather are concerned for ecological destruction and even fear of economic collapse. Tim Jackson, 2011, estimated 60% of the world ecosystem services have been degraded or overused since middle of 20th century. The world ends of strip well, rising commodity prices, the degradation of air, water, and soil, conflicts over land use, resource use, water use, forestry, and fishing rights, and stabilizing the climate, global climate. By 2050, carbon dioxide emissions would be 80% higher than they are today. So, even it is more severe ecocide. Ecocide is a massive environmental destruction that's alarming us because corporations destroy other species and our planet. Each day, 150 living species become extinct. 150,000 acres of tropical rainforest are destroyed. Each day, 2 million tons of toxic waste is dumped into our rivers and seas. 22 million tons of oil extracted and 100 million tons of greenhouse gases are released. Land destroyed, water poisoned, and air is polluted. Biofuels played rising food prices, impacted to environmental degradations, rising carbon emissions, declining biodiversity, rampant deforestation, collapse in feed stocks, declining water supply, and degrading soils. Energy growing by 45% by 2030, it could hide 80% in carbon emissions. Two types of ecocides you can see. Number one is human-made ecocides by losing loss of the Amazon, nuclear war, and other fightings and wars in the world. Naturally occurring ecocide, rising sea levels, tsunami, floods, and earthquakes. Bangladesh is one of the examples of global warming. The sea level has raised, and it affected the southern coastal belt area. A lot of people displaced from that area and immigrated to capital city or other cities and make a lot of problems, socio-economic, environmental problems in some areas. So, crisis, it is not only capitalism crisis, we also see crisis in capitalism too, in the name of economic faster growth. 1 billion people across the world are on less than $1 a day, half price of small cappuccino in Starbucks in North America. A fifth of the world population earn just 2% of global income. The richest 20%, by contrast, earn 75% of the world income. Capitalism creates huge disparities. European Union unemployment rate more than 11%, 20 million people are unemployed. January 9, 2013, ESS report. More than 20% unemployment in Spain and Greece. Youth unemployment is more than 26%, money inflation high ever before. Government across the world has committed staggering $7 trillion public money, more than their GDP. Prominent villain, U.S. lending house market. Tim Jackson say it is toxic tax. Hide information from balance sheet. The U.S. $787 billion stimulus package, they made it in 2009, but near approximately $300 billion goes to tax cuts. That means, again, the corporate take disadvantage. Even during 2008 in UK, debt was growing at the rate of £1 million every 11 minutes. Tim Jackson, in his book, page 23. Cumulative consumption debt stood almost £1.5 trillion. While prices doubled in the year to July 2008, while food prices rose by 66%, sparking civil unrest in some poorer nations. So, effects of capitalism. What affects? Capitalism culture is borrowing and spending. Germany, France, Canada, and USA all have faced public sector debts, about 60% of GDP, but Norway holds no public debt at all. This is one of the examples in us in this crisis time. So people's job and livelihood suffers all over the world. Capitalism has two states, either expansion or collapse. The debt rose from 40% of GDP to over 100% of GDP. External debt was 900% of GDP in Ireland. Can you see what severe situation is the trend? Inequality, the gap of rich and poor is increasing. So, iron cage consumerism that Professor Tim Jackson used in his books and mentioned that economic crisis of 2008 made financial institutions become paralyzed by fear. Banks even refused to lend even to each other. Consumer society locks us firmly into the iron cage consumerism. The growth has taught us economic instability, capitalist social logic that locks us into the cage of iron cage consumerism. So capitalism creates consumerism social logic. Consumerism relates us to our status, identity, prestige, everything, to cards, favorite clothes, DVD collections, photographs, and so on. This kind of materialism is flawed. Luxurious life, social position. Consumption is our social and psychological identity, affiliation, aspiration, and self-expression. So, this economic growth, the meaning of prosperity, human capability, human prosperity. Professor Amartya Sen, he's mentioned this concept, prosperity as capability for flourishing, which we cannot see in the capitalistic society. In UK, percentage of very happy declined from 52% in 1957 to 36% today, even though the real income have more than doubled. So that means that economic growth, economic prosperity, economic growth, development does not give us happiness in our life. Nasumam, USA, explains human capabilities And she mentioned that basic entitlements and economic stability is important for prosperity, which we cannot see in the capitalistic society. The imbalance, making the economic growth and basic entitlements and economic stability. So, well, in this situation, what we can do? So, here we new start. Tim Jackson said that there should be a green stimulus package, and in this green stimulus package, we can say why. In 2009, the recovery package all over the world, stimulus package, has aimed to kickstart the consumer spending, protect jobs, and stimulate economic growth again. Again, we are going to the loop of economic growth, the core concept, and doing the business as usual. If it is that certain kind, some people, the benefits will go to their pocket. So in such situation, what we can do, we can make a green deal. Green deal means for sustainable development, increase resource efficiency, renewable energy, and reductions in material throughput, a massive technological shift, a significant policy effort, social structure can shift people's values and behavior, and changing the social logic in the answer. That means if I have this suit, very good on fashion, the shining bright these dresses, my status will increase. And if I have gorgeous latest model color, so those are the flawed identity. So what is the potential of this green recovery or green economy? Green stimulus component main approach is public sector employment at green jobs. Conservation, low carbon conservation means low carbon vehicles, clean energy and recycling, quality of life, green neighborhoods and housing, environmental protection, including flood defense, develop IT infrastructure, and green transport network. So what are the process to start? We talk about the recovery model, but what would be the process? To dismantle old institutions is risky, capitalism is risky, so what we can do, we have to start opening up out of a public and policy dialogue of the issues, develop green economics, literature and research. Tim Jackson, 2011, recommends establishing the limits, resource and emission caps, and reduce production targets, support ecological transition, changing the social logic, and promote social economy, which is the Canadian social economists trying to promote to this concept that blending social and economic vision together, not only economic vision. And develop policies, arts and strategies for social enterprise organization. I myself wrote an article in 2011. There I mentioned that if we want to develop our green economy, so we have to develop some policies, some acts, some strategies and implementation strategies so that social enterprise organizations can grow. So, and Professor Muhammad Yunus, the father of Grameen Bank, he mentioned in 1990 that we have to expand social business. So, what we have to fix in our ecological economic model? So, in this ecological economic model, we have two levels of approach. One, I say that at the macro level approach, and another I say the micro level approach. At the macro level, in macroeconomics level, what we do, the ecological investments with strict emission, that should be one, policy and program and laws, and investing in jobs and assets and infrastructure development, enhance ecological economics. Not only the paper money, those are the things, fake money. So what we are going to do, ecological investment includes retrofitting buildings with energy and carbon saving measures, renewable energy technology, redesigning utility networks, in particular the electricity grids, public transport infrastructure, public spaces, green spaces, libraries, and so on. So for example, in Toronto we have this Standard Square where lots of people every day gather and they have the opportunity to incubate their small micro enterprises. Throughout the year, even in the winter time, I saw some of the people, vendors, micro enterprise vendors, they sitting corner of the houses, corner of the roads, on footpath, they try to sell the products. So this is a lot of innovations I find over there. So in ecological economic model, Tim Jackson, he mentioned 5 points. Number one, he says that working time policy, we have to develop a new working time policy, tackling systematic inequalities, and measuring capabilities and flourishing, and strengthening social capital, and dismantling the culture of consumerism. So, strategies for job creation. What would be the strategy for job creation? Here, actually, Professor Peter Victor is one of my teachers at York University when I was studying my environmental master's in environmental studies. So in that time, we actually developed a concept called prevent. His key policy intervention is the reduction of working hour and distribute this the safe working hour to other rest of the people. It is really good. It is really important because by the end of 2008, an estimated $47 trillion has been spent globally in underwriting toxic assets, recapitalizing banks, and stimulating lending policies. It is really, again, goes to the path to corporate development. The car industry received a direct support in UK and USA. US government committed over $23 billion to bail out gains GM and Chrysler. To prevent large-scale unemployment, sharing the available job that Professor Peter Victor mentioned. So here I am going to talk that not only macro level policy, we need also develop some policies, develop some strategies, develop some program, project, intervention at the local economic opportunity, to develop local economic opportunities. So in this situation, what we can do, we need to promote social enterprise, community energy projects. Say for in Bangladesh, Grameen Shakti, Grameen renewable energy, it creates tremendous jobs in rural areas, and also it gives a lot of solar energy, and in the, people are using solar energy for their day-to-day life, light facilities in the richest area, and the very cheap. Poor people even be able to afford those solar energy used at their home. So, support local farmers, markets, food cooperatives, sports clubs, libraries, community health, fitness centers. Encourage local repair and maintenance services and craft workshops, community music, drama, and local training in skills. Avoid distance traveling products, rather use local products. Avoid supermarket and casino economy. Promote ecological enterprises, endowed Cinderella economy, the care economy. This is very important because here the feminists are saying that the women reproductive works at home is not valued, is not counted in the national economy, but they are really giving good contribution to the family, the community, the nation. So we have to also count, we have to give value to the Cinderella economy and we have to promote it, encourage it. So promote micro-enterprise and encourage self-employment. That all over the world now there is a movement of micro-enterprise development through microfinancing. So in Canada and a lot of other countries, they don't give much more attention to this, but I urge to Canadian policymakers, executives, and community workers, they should, community organizations, they could include this program for because without commercial activities, without involving the micro people into micro-enterprise development, it's sometimes risky for them to only be on depend on paid employment. So, what we have to do for macro level, what we have to do, we have to say that increase ecological investment. How we can do it? Investment needs a balance between consumption and investment in the economy. Need to focus on resource productivity, renewable energy, clean energy, and green businesses, climate adaptation, and ecosystem enhancement. Low carbon investment, a program, green stimulus, I already mentioned before, potential to secure jobs and economic recovery, provide energy security and technological innovation, ensure a sustainable future for our children, green bonds. Here I use the concept of green bonds. You know, we have bonds, banks and other financial institutions, they issue bonds for raising the funds. And so here I say we can develop green bonds that can lead directly to low carbon investments. Those who want to start such kind of job, so green investment, green bonds can help them to support their business investment. So here we find that the three types of investment: energy efficiency, waste reduction and recycling, program projects investment, clean technology, low carbon technology. It is very, very, very essential because nowadays the technology, some are coming out, but also need more innovation towards clean technology. So also we need to revive ecosystem, that is climate adaptation, afforestation, wetland renewal, and so on. So here, University of Massachusetts identified 6 priority areas for investment. They say that retrofitting buildings and mass transit, promote mass transit, and smart grid, wind power, solar power. Now, lot of debates on wind power. Anyway, so next generation biofuels, biogas, Jatruba biofuel in Bangladesh, Gramin Shakti, Gramin renewable energy. They are producing Jatruba to experiment actually to see biofuel how they will be cost effective as a substitute of fuel, traditional fuel. So Tim Jackson actually calculated the spending $100 million job in 2 sectors, money calculated, and there he mentioned that this money, $100 million money, can directed at household spending would generate 1.7 million jobs. But the same amount of money, the oil industry can only produce fewer than 600,000 jobs. See? So it is double how spending the other jobs, these jobs are double jobs can be created. So, and other 2 options would be fiscal tightening, which is very important now. Politics and economics are together. Political people are economic people, are political people. They are in the same pocket of same people. So it is dangerous. So we have to be careful. We have to make the fiscal tightening so that using national taxes to recover investment spending, and government would take an equity stake in energy-related assets. So now, throughout my discussion, you see I have talked to concept. One is modern economy, the traditional economy, and pure economy, and another one is grid economy, which I proposed. So modern macroeconomic variables is a GDP. GDP is a measure of the business of the economy. It is a resource, energy, manufacturing sector, responsible for 25% carbon footprint, profit motive, expanding complex social logic, private transport incentivized over public transport, energy supply is subsidized, waste disposal is cheap, and wastage centers few and far. So, on the other hand, green economists are not agreeing with the modern economist ideas and concept. Sustainable economy that we live in, that green economists are believing on sustainable economy, capable of resisting the exogenous shocks, limits on carbon-based tax, protect natural capital, government spend revenues in public interest, balance between public sector and private sector, balance between consumption and investment, balance in profitability and sociality. Herman Daly, father of ecology, said steady state economy. Green growth based on non-polluting energy resources, encourages dematerialized services like healthcare, education, those are the things, rather than material production, recycling, reusing, and leasing productive economy. So, what would be the rule? So, you know that there should be, what is the rule? What is the rule of the state, the government, to enhance this macro level policy and the micro level policy? So, I have made some recommendations here. I say the ecological economics can instead give us a lasting prosperity. State has a big role. It has to play a big role in making lending policy, increasing financial and fiscal prudence, careful fiscal policy that I mentioned earlier. One professor, Professor Tobin from US, he mentioned the introduction of Tobin tax on international currency flow, because now corporates are actually taking the money, currency flow, wire transfer, so free, almost free. There is no restrictions on that. So you can put on some tax on there, so it can benefit the countries. So stabilizing market, financial market, that is important. Today is index is other thing like this. It is fluctuating. The investors, the other people are, the economy is volatile. So full control of money supply, that's another important thing. There's a lot of countries, a lot of bad practices are there, fake money are there, so it should be controlled. And revising the national accounts, because national economic development, they only focus on GDP growth. The variable measure is only the business, the GDP. So that is not the thing. But other services are there, health services, education services, community services, Cinderella economy, I said previously, those are need to also counted. A lot of volunteers are working in Canada and North America, a lot of other countries. Their values are not, their works are not counted in our national GDP count. So we need to include it and include externalities of all cost of production, because corporates, they produce the products and a lot of they destroy the environment, roots, a lot of things that but this is not accountable, they are not paying for those things. So here, the environmentalist, ecologist also provokes for into externalities of cost of production by the corporates. So throughout my discussion, I said that we want to promote the public well-being, so all people can have a place where they can fairly live. The environment is also justice is there, environmental protection is there, all species are safe. So is it possible in the world of what I am talking? So yes, I think another eco-friendly world is possible if we collectively if we collectively provoke for it, protest for it, act for it, intention, collective intention like that. In such situation, what we need, we have to change our attitude through everyday culture. You know, we buy the clothes after 3 months, throw it away. The car we buy after 2 hours, it is old model. The chair, furniture are there, oh, this is old metal, throw them. We can repair them, we can use them, do that. So throw away culture is important, and develop attitudes to repairing, recycling and reusing, cooperating instead competing each other. We are now not cooperating each other. The cooperatives are another world. I have another presentation, cooperatives, so these are some cooperatives. So we are, the cooperatives are gone day by day, they decay. So, but it means we have to cooperate instead of competition. A life without shame. That is concept actually Tim Jackson mentioned before. Amartya Sen, another economist, he addresses this puzzle. Live simple living standard. You have to follow simple living standard, luxurious life, everything shining, brighting, expensive those things. No, it is not to be the life strategy, life philosophy. So Mahatma Gandhi, you know, the father of India, the political leader, so he said his main philosophy, he lived himself simply, very simple, life simply, and support his community. He mentioned intention of the community should have some intention that well-being, all people in the community have their common roots. So this is one, Jack Quarter, professor at the University of Toronto, the father, the director of social economics, but I am attached to him being a social enterprise. So he provokes for multi-purpose cooperative, and Mohammed Yunus, you know, the father of Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, he provokes for no loss, no dividend, distribute to shareholder social business. He provokes for social business, you know, nowadays some people say social business, some people say social enterprise, some people say social economy. So different synonyms, but the thing is that the social and economic missions should be together, not only profit motive. There should be some commitment. The business people should, the business should have commitment to the community well-being. So that is one thing. And Herman Daly really talks about the eco-village. So you have to develop, you have to care and rear the eco-village. You have to follow the principle of social, environmental justice, peace, respect for the nature. So this is the my presentation, a little bit that presentation. So thank you for listening to me. So if there is any question, comment, please feel free to ask me. Thank you. Bye.